Hello everyone, I'm Andrew. This is my buddy Jafar here. Um, I thought about creating content for a while and I wanted to throw myself in today. This year is the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts, and I just kind of wanted to tell my story of how I got into the franchise and just kind of ramble and gush in general. Buddy. It all started around 2005 when I was 8 or so. I was at some kid's house who lived like way out in the country. Um, I was with my parents who were visiting his parents for some reason. I don't remember the people or the kid's name or why we were there. And we're like, why don't you go play with this kid in his room? And at the time, I was like a big Nintendo kid, which I still am. Still love Zelda and Pokemon. And I was also going through a Yu-Gi-Oh phase, though. Like I guess most kids in the 2000s were. And they had a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. He was showing me. And then, like, by the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I noticed the manga on the floor, and it had Donald and Goofy with, like, this anime kid in, like, a red jumpsuit with spiky hair. And, something about her just really interested me. Um, it's kind of funny how, like, magical Kingdom Hearts can make you feel. I'm so desensitized to it now because I'm, like, so surrounded by Kingdom Hearts content. But just, like, the vibe of Kingdom Hearts 1 is just kind of like watching a Disney VHS tape. And, so I asked him about the book, and he proceeded to pop in the game to show me, just what it was all about. And he let me play like the Destiny Alliance intro. And I mean, at the time, my favorite games were like Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess. Oh, it might have been before Twilight Princess. Yeah, it would have been before Twilight Princess. And Rayman 2. So that's kind of like the 3D elements that I was used to. It kind of had like 3D platforming elements and then like kind of exploration like Zelda. So it was just really familiar to me. And it was just like a super magical feeling because I mean, I grew up watching all these Disney VHS tapes and it was like I was playing one now. And it's kind of just like I found my purpose in life. But he told me that the second game was about to come out in just a short period of time. I just couldn't get it out of my head. So I have an uncle that got me into gaming. A story I'll tell one day if I ever make like a video about how I got into Zelda or gaming in general. But he would buy me games when he came to town, and it was because of him that I had a Dreamcast, a GameCube, a Game Boy Advance, and a PS2 at the time. And he and I went to EB Games, which the same location is still around, but it's actually now a GameStop. I actually worked there for a while. But we picked up both Kingdom Hearts 2 and a greatest hits copy of Kingdom Hearts 1. It's funny, I remember getting stuck at guard armor and having to ask somebody to beat it for me. But I didn't exactly understand like the leveling system or grinding at the time, and I wasn't very good anyway, like about dodge roll or guard. I just kind of mashed X. So, but it's funny because I saw the actual kid somewhere. They got me into the games shortly after all that, and I was stuck on Barbossa in Kingdom Hearts 2, and I was telling him, and he was just like, "Oh, you suck," all that. But I really wish that I could find that guy, like today, like if I could remember his name, just to see if he's like as into Kingdom Hearts as I am. But I don't know. That's how I got into it. But it's funny to think about that. I actually got Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 at the same time. Because when you hear most people's stories that are like a little older than me, because I'm only 24, um, they're always talking about like how the longest wait of their life is to wait for Kingdom Hearts 2 after playing 1. But I didn't even realize it existed until like a month or so before Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. So I just didn't get to experience that. Even though I did wait like literally my entire life for 3. But and another good thing about around this time was one of my best friends, me and him were talking about Twilight Princess on the bus, and I showed him Kingdom Hearts, and the rest was history. He's also like a big mega fan today, just like I am. But I remember being in Best Buy and like flipping shit over seeing Chain of Memories on Game Boy Advance, which, as I mentioned prior, I had one, and at the time I was kind of disappointed by it. A few years later, I was living in a situation where it's a long story, but my PS2 was at my grandparents' house instead of the place I was living. And I just had a GameCube, and I had played like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess to death. So got a DS Lite, and I just played Pokemon Diamond most of the time. And I would try to play Chain of Memories, but it just, a 10-year-old and Chain of Memories doesn't mix. It's card-based combat, man. Still to this day, I've never actually beat the original Chain of Memories or Game Boy Advance. I've only beat Chain of Memories, never the OG. And another funny story, a similar situation, where I was taken to a stranger's house, but this time the guy's son wasn't home. So, like, I never met the kid, but his son had, like, some type of lizard in his room, and the dad took us into the room to show us the lizard, because it was in his son's bedroom. And I noticed he had a stack of PS2 games, and there was, like, a vanilla copy of, there was no vanilla copy of Kingdom Hearts 1, but there was a Final Mix copy, so I was just like, huh? Like, what is this? I just saw the spawn of it, but still to this day, I'm really confused by that, because I don't know how the kid would have got it, or, like, if he had it, just, like, for his collection, then where was the vanilla copy? Maybe he was letting a friend borrow it, or maybe he had a Japanese PS2, I don't know. Or maybe he just, like, researched it online and, like, printed out, like, a spine to put, like, a little piece of paper to put in the spine, I don't know. It still confuses me to this day. I guess I just never know. I also remember researching Kingdom Hearts online a lot on the 2000s internet and coming across logos for Coded Days and Birth by Sleep when they all got, like, announced at that event, which I didn't know about anything like that at the time. But I was wondering if they were real or fake. And I remember seeing things about the Final Mix versions of 1 and 2 and just not really knowing what it was. And then, like, in 6th grade, which was a little bit later, I had a friend, Bajafar. I had a friend who was, like, a huge bullshitter, and he kept trying to tell me that, like, Axel and Roxas made out and, like, all kinds of weird things about Final Mix. And come to find out, I actually imported it and modded my PS2 with the flip top mod, and he was lying. There was a lot of interesting stuff there, even in Japanese, when I was in 7th grade when I imported it. I still made it to, like, the chamber with all the data battles or whatever, and I had a great time. And then I actually got a PCS X2 a few years later, and put the English language patch on it and played it that way. And then 1.5 and 2.5 finally came out too, so finally got to do it officially. And then when it came to PS4, I finally got to do it comfortably, and not like the shitty PS3 version. I remember being so excited for PS3 to come out, like, the entire time I was in, like, elementary, middle, and high school. I mean, the hype for that game was, like, good memories in itself. But there was, like, a period in, like, there's actually a period where I wasn't into Kingdom Hearts, because around 2008, I just, like, kind of stopped paying attention to video games, and I just kind of quit them altogether for, like, 2 years. But, like, one day I was, like, grounded over the summer between, like, 6th and 7th grade in, like, 2010, and I just woke up one day and was just, like, craving Kingdom Hearts 2 for some reason. So I got the disc, popped it into my backwards compatible PS3, and played through it, and I was just like, oh my god, I need more. So I actually started researching again on the internet and found out that Days game was real and it had came out. So I went and got that and played the shit out of that. I would actually go to bed, like, after playing it just all day long over the summer, and, like, still be hearing Yoko's music in my head, like, while I was sleeping, like, audibly. It is the only time I ever experienced something like that. I was playing the game way too much. But, my nose is itching. Sorry, I just mowed the grass and allergies and all. But, then, after I beat that, I started researching into Birth by Sleep and found out that it was about to come out, like, the next month. So I was super excited for that. I got that and played the hell out of it too. Yeah, just good memories. And then there was the Recoded hype. I don't know why I was hyped over that, but I was, and it's okay game. And then Dream Drop, I remember before that was even called Dream Drop, and it was just Kingdom Hearts 3D. I think Nomura said he changed the name because he didn't want people to think it was just like a 3DS remake of 1 or 2 or something like that. Or I guess it would be a D-make. But, yeah, just good times. I was so hyped for Kingdom Hearts 3, pretty much from that summer of 2010. I was so hyped for Kingdom Hearts 3 pretty much from like that summer of 2010 that I got back into games until 2019 when it finally came out. I worked at GameStop for a little bit in 2015 and was like cool with the managers and everything when working there. And one of the managers actually helped me get a Kingdom Hearts 3 edition PS4 Pro, which I'm very proud to own. I think it's, well, I'm not going to move the camera and everything right now. Maybe one day I'll do like a Kingdom Hearts collection video. But I wish I had a story to tell about when Kingdom Hearts 3 finally came out. It was good, but I don't know. I think like even in the line when it got the midnight release, I just kind of knew that this was not going to meet my expectations because these expectations have been around since I was like prepubescent. I just like used to imagine like all these things like Destiny Ons being like fully explorable and everything, and I just kind of never let that go. That's very irresponsible of me, but although my expectations for the game were way too high, I still feel that the game is just kind of like soulless and corporate. Like I'm not like a big Kingdom Hearts 3 hater or anything, but it just kind of felt like the game was made because everybody wanted it so bad. I kind of feel like Nomura was already on to the next thing, and I really have high hopes for Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm not like irresponsibly hype or anything, but I just don't see how things could go wrong because this whole like quadrilateral thing, I feel like is what he's been working towards this whole time anyway. Really, I feel like the story wrapping up that was told like in the Dark Seeker saga it was just like something he forgot about like after Dream Job. But I'm glad the game finally came out. I do enjoy the gameplay of it. It's just the story, just I don't know. It just didn't hit for me. I mean, it's okay, but I'm not a hater or anything, so don't come attack me. But it's still I gotta replay the game anytime, but it just does not meet 1 or 2's level of quality. But as far as the mobile games go, I broke my back in 2016 actually, and it was when Unchained originally released on iOS, and I was stuck at home for like 9 weeks. So I played the shit out of Unchained, and then I haven't touched it since then, really, except when the mini game and like the Game and Watch games were added, like right before 3 came out to get the keylade. I can't think of what it's called, but it's the one you get in 3 from like the mobile games. And I was like super excited because I thought it was going to be like exclusive to people who played those mini games. And I realized that you just got it early and you still got it anyway at the end of the game. But oh well, I mean, it was fun. Um, never touched Dark Road. I have tried to keep up with the story on YouTube a little bit. I know most of it. Like, I was really surprised to see like people didn't know who Shirley was in the 4 trailer. I plan on whenever Dark Road ends to kind of just go through and watch like all the content from the Unchained and Union Cross and everything and Dark Road. And then I'm probably gonna play Missing Link for a while when it first comes out, and then just kind of fall out of it, as I know I will, and then probably watch a video about it. So YouTubers will keep me up to date. But good thing for me, I'm also a huge Smash fan, huge Nintendo fan. So the closest thing I've came to the original feeling of seeing Kingdom Hearts was whenever I saw that flame that Mario threw turn into a Keyblade. I mean, I just ascended. Like, I was sitting in this chair here and just freaked out. um, I actually voted for Sora in the Smash ballot in 2015, and I still had hope like the whole time. When I finally saw that, it was like an out of body experience, man. I just couldn't believe it. I can honestly say that was one of the best moments of my entire life. I was like high on that for like a month straight. But looking forward to the future. I'm super excited about Kingdom Hearts 4. I feel like just a little bit of like scripted gameplay we've seen so far has more personality than 3. Um, like that's one of my complaints about 3 was that 1 kind of feels like a Disney movie. 2 has like this like edgy 2000s vibe, and then 3 is just like a Kingdom Hearts game. I don't know. I mean, it's a good game. It just lacks a lot of personality. But I feel like 4 already has that personality, just from what we've seen. I don't know how to explain it other than that. But I'm really excited to see where Nomura will take it from here. I'm glad to see his Versus 13 Revenge come into play. Was excited for that game back in the day, not super excited, but like I was gonna play it because it looked like Kingdom Hearts type gameplay. It was made by him, um, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I'm super excited to see the possibility of Star Wars for the ATST foot. I mean, we know it has to be ATST foot. I don't know about indoor. It looks like indoor, but I mean, it could be anything. But I know how much Nomura loves Star Wars, so I know he'll do a good job on that. If you made it to the end, thank you. I don't really know what I'm doing. This is the first video I'm ever making, so it's just practice right now. But I just want to give a special thanks to the inspiration for this video. HMK's Fifth Dimension podcast, where all the key keepers went over their intro to the series, as well as my favorite YouTuber Cynical doing it on his own channel since he wasn't able to make it for that podcast. And then Keyblade Sarah also made, or SarahKey now, she also made a video separately too, explaining her introduction to the series. And one of my favorite YouTubers, NeoGameSpark, actually made a video like years ago. Like he's the first YouTuber I started watching back in like 2010 about why he loved Kingdom Hearts. And that's like one of my favorite YouTube videos. So I've kind of always wanted to do something like that. Uh, but hopefully I'll be able to start making content, like collection content. I have a huge game collection. Um, I have a decent setup. I have a CRT and like some old consoles and an OLED with some PS5 and Switch. So maybe I could start recording some gameplay. I don't really know what I want to do, but I feel like I want to start creating content because it's something I've always wanted to do. But if you made it to the end, thank you so much. Like I said, this is just kind of all work in progress, so I really appreciate it. But thank you for watching. You guys have a good one.